Welcome back to the Retro Craptacular Podcast, where each month we continue our search for the best bad movies on the planet Earth. I am your host, Aaron, and I am joined, as always, by Matt. Hello.
Hello. How's it
What
going?
is? Oh, it's
you go first.
No, you go. No, you. It's
No,
fine.
I
I'm fine.
insist.
I am fine. It is
Okay.
going well with me. How are you?
Oh, doing all right, I guess. It's
Yeah.
colder now than it was in December. I don't know how this province works.
It starts off cold and it gets worse.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're just
Woof.
we're just wet. You know.
I do know.
Yeah. But it is like
Oh.
a cold wet also, so it's been awful. But
Right.
yeah, you know.
Winter
We-
in BC.
We got snow.
Oh, you got snow.
Yeah, it lasted about 3 hours.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and then it was gone. But it was
Yeah.
enough to cancel plans for an entire day. So
Nice. It's a
Yeah.
good amount of snow.
yeah, oh, I don't know, it's snowing. I can't make it into work. I guess I just work from home today. By 9:30, the snow is gone.
Wow. Whereas in Ontario, it's like, oh, it snowed a month ago. It's still here because it's too
Yeah.
cold.
Well, I have the added bonus of like not living in the city that I work in. So my boss is like, "Oh, the snow is gone here." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, man. There's still a lot of snow out here, out this way. You know, the further east you go, the more snow you get. So I'm just gonna hunker down." But he doesn't listen to this, so it's fine.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Can you imagine how awkward it would be if your boss listened to your podcast?
extremely awkward. I did have it on my resume for a while.
You put this podcast on your resume?
Yeah, under like.
Oh.
Not like special skills. What's the other thing? Like interests or whatever.
Skills and interests.
Yeah, interests and activities.
Interests and activities. Ah, okay.
Like I put my soccer team on there, and I play in a band, and I have this podcast, and if you just here's a QR code and lead you to download if you don't want
Oh, if you want to go and check that out, yeah.
just get the downloads.
Cool.
Yeah. So, you've been watching anything?
Yeah, I actually just last night finished watching the series that I think you recommended to me called The Boys.
Oh yes.
Man, that show.
You watched both seasons?
Intense. Yeah, watched
Nice.
both seasons. Started it earlier this week and finished it already. Man, that show is dark and disgusting and so compelling.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really interesting setting. Man.
Yeah, I was really hesitant to start watching it because I'm not a big fan of the original comic. Like I think I find Garth Ennis tends to go too far, just for the sake of being edgy, in a lot of his stuff. But yeah, the way they translated it to TV is fantastic, and it's Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen's the executive producer on that show.
Oh, is that why he cameos in it?
Does he even cameo in it?
Yeah. It's just like someone's flipping through a channel and then it's him in a director's chair with Black Noir talking about Black Noir's next movie and how excited he is to be directing a film in the VOT cinema universe, or VCU.
Right.
And it just cuts away from him right away.
Oh, okay. Is that I don't remember that. Okay.
It happens once in each season.
Oh, okay. Fun.
And it's him. It's just Seth Rogen. He's cameoing as himself.
Yeah, as himself. Yeah. No, because they him and his producer Evan Goldberg. They also did Preacher, which I believe is also a Garth Ennis thing. Which I have not got around to watching yet, but I think it's finished, so I could probably just binge the whole thing at this point. What else? Yeah, one of my coworkers is from in our Toronto office is in the show.
Oh, what?
Yeah, there's a news reporter character in season 1. He interviews Homelander after the plane crash, and then he pops up again in season 2.
Oh,
And I'm like watching it, and I'm like, holy shit, it's Darren!
that's so cool.
And I like text one of my coworkers. I'm like, hey, are you watching The Boys on Amazon? Like, fucking Darren's in it. So yeah, which is
That's
funny
fun.
because he is like a journalist in real life, and so he just apparently he does that quite a bit. Like any TV show in Toronto that they need like a journalist reporter character in, he always auditions for them and gets them sometimes. But
That's fun.
yeah,
Well, what about you? You been watching anything good?
not
bad?
really. I have not been watching. Oh, I watched something bad. I have not been watching a lot of stuff lately. I watched except WandaVision.
Oh, I still haven't watched that.
Yeah, I watched. They've got 4 episodes out now, and I was getting a little worried after episode 3, where I'm like, there's nothing happening in this show. Like, well, especially after the first 2 episodes, I'm like, well, there's really nothing happening in this show, and then the 3rd episode happened, and like it ends with like, oh, now something might start happening. But episode 4 kind of dives into a little bit about what's going on, but there's still a lot of like, there's a mystery box element, but like you don't even know what the mystery is. The mystery is what's happening, and no one knows.
Okay.
And you can
Interesting.
speculate a bunch of stuff because you've seen other movies, and if you've read the comic, like I know people are deep diving into like the comics and going like, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. But I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, but the show isn't giving us any of that, you know. And so there's a little bit of like, what do the characters want? Who is there? What's the conflict? You know, like I'm a little like, the first 2 episodes are literally just like one of the first one's an episode of I Love Lucy. The second one is an episode of Bewitched. Like that's essentially all it is. And the third one is like a bit of like, you know, they move into the 70s, and so it's in color, and there's like Brady Bunch vibes. And then like there is weird stuff that starts happening. I don't like I'm trying not to spoil it for you.
Okay.
So I can't really talk about it otherwise, but yeah, episode 4 really takes a turn in format, and you kind of go like, oh, okay, there's other stuff happening outside of they're just living in a different sitcom every week.
Okay.
So my hopes for the series have spiked after the last episode. So yeah,
Cool. Yeah.
worth checking out. And I think especially because they put the first 2 episodes out on the same day, and it's been week to week ever since. But I think if you jump in now, they come out every Friday. So if you jump in now, you should be able. I think you probably get a lot more out of it if you just watch all 4 episodes in one go.
I see.
As opposed to like after the first 2, I was like, oh yeah, no, this is good. Like it's a sitcom, I get it.
Yeah.
But like, what's happening?
So you get a little bit more of a complete picture watching all 4.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to try that out. Sounds interesting.
And you'll know what I mean when you get to episode 4. And yeah. Again, I really can't say anything about it without totally spoiling it. So sorry if that was tedious
Whatever, it's cool.
to anyone, to you or any of the listeners, but I really don't want to ruin it, because yeah, I'm not into that.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah. No, it's fine. That's kind of all I've been watching.
Yeah.
I have been not in the mood to watch new shit this week, so I've just been watching Bob's Burgers.
Cool.
or like random YouTube videos, except when I had to watch the movie that we watched for this month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Battlestar Galactica.
The ABC Sunday Night Movie presents the most spectacular space adventure ever filmed. Transport yourself in time to a star system far beyond our own galaxy.
Core systems transferring control to probe craft. Launch when ready.
Battlestar Galactica, a saga of a star world. I got him on the left. I got him on the right.
That is precision flying.
For 1,000 years, a race of alien machines has been bent on destruction of the human race.
They hate us with every fiber of their existence.
And now their evil plans may become reality.
It's dangerous around here.
Why do those people want to hurt us? What did we do to them?
It's not what we did to them. It's what they fear we could do.
Join the last remnants of the human race in their quest for a new world.
13th colony. This other world. Where is it? What's it called?
Earth.
Prepare yourself for Battlestar Galactica.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's sort of go, because you and I are both fans of the reboot show.
That is correct.
In fact, the first time I think I ever saw the Battlestar Galactica miniseries, I think, was at your house.
It was probably in my basement. Yeah, my
Yeah.
brother was probably playing it.
Yeah, I think your brother and maybe your sister was. They were. A bunch of people were watching it, and so I was like, "Oh, cool." I think we just kind of joined in, but I rewatched the entire series last year of the reboot verse. Rewatched / watched half of it for the first time because I never finished it.
Yeah, I still haven't finished either, and after watching this original movie, I feel like more inspired to go finish the remake.
I think it's on Prime. I think all of it's on Prime.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, worth checking out. I had picked up all the DVDs at a thrift store, and that's kind of what inspired me to go back and watch it.
So good.
I really like the reboot. I think the reboot is like a masterpiece of sci-fi television.
Yeah,
And
I mean, like, it's really well done, and like, it is able to take a lot from the original, and that the original's setting was super interesting and compelling and bleak, but it was just done in a much better and more sustainable way.
yeah, for sure. And so, yeah, watching this, because I don't know about you, but I had really no experience with the original Battlestar Galactica at all.
I know that I have seen at least one episode.
Yeah. Like, I knew a little bit just because, like, I grew up as a sci-fi fan. So I knew, like, By Your Command, and, like, that was about it. But, yeah, other than that, this was really my first foray into the original Battlestar Galactica, and having watched this and watched, the reboot last year, I really don't understand why Richard Hatch was so upset when he found out they were remaking it, because this sucked.
Ooh, diving right in, eh? Oh boy. Well,
Sorry to not bury the lead there. But,
no, it's all good. It's all good. We're all about honesty here at the Retro Craptacular. Well, for those who are fans of the remake and not the original, and for people who just don't know what the hell Battlestar Galactica is, should we just kind of run over the plot of the movie that we just watched?
Sure. So it begins with an ominous voiceover about how life on our planet began out in space, and the people that lived out in space could have been the forefathers of the Egyptians or the Aztecs or whatever, which explains why they all have stupid pharaoh helmets.
Oh my gosh, the pilot helmets are so dumb.
So stupid. Oh, like I could not take it serious. Anyways, those were idiotic. And then we find out that there's been a war going on between the humans and an alien race of robots known as the Cylons. In the original version, they were not created by humans. And so we learn that there's just about to be an armistice, and there'll finally be peace between humans and Cylons. But then, a couple minutes later, as Captain Apollo and his brother Zach are out doing a patrol, and at Zach's first ever patrol, they get attacked by Cylon raiders, and Zach gets killed.
Yep. Which, by the way, that name, like, aren't his siblings named Apollo and Athena? And
Yeah.
as the youngest, he got saddled with Zach. They gave up.
They did. Well, he's only on screen for about 2 minutes, so it's fine.
And then he bites the dust.
Well, and also, okay, so that's another interesting thing. In this show, the dude is literally just named Adama, or Apollo. His name is Apollo Adama.
Yep.
Where in the reboot, Apollo is his call sign.
Yeah, because they realized that having a character named Apollo was dumb.
Yeah. I mean, like, as a last name, maybe?
Sure, I guess,
But,
yeah.
but then they needed him to be related to Admiral Adama. So, because they kept that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was Lee Adama in the remake, and Starbuck was Kara Thrace, a woman.
Yeah.
In the remake. Yeah, a lot of interesting things. They race and gender swapped quite a few people.
Yeah.
Anyways, getting back to the plot. So anyways, they get attacked by the Cylons, and the Cylons launch an attack on the 12 colonies, which are the 12 planets, each named after the signs of the zodiac.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically kind of just like nothing happens until the very end when they fight they trick a Cylon base ship into landing on a planet that's about to explode. That they are responsible for it exploding because they set it on fire.
Oh, sure. I feel like you skipped what sets up what the show is about, though. Like, all the colonies are attacked, basically destroyed, but there are some survivors from the 12 colonies who managed to flee on whatever ships they have available.
Right, sure.
All of the Battlestars that went to the Armistice, which was a trap, were destroyed except for one. There's one more Battlestar. Its name is Galactica. And so the show is actually about the Battlestar Galactica as well as the hodgepodge remnants of human civilization.
Yeah, the fleet.
Yeah. Trying to flee from the Cylons, find a safe place, and General Adama is like, our civilization once came from a single planet. We will go find this ancient planet and live there. Its name, Earth. And
Cue the music.
which I found a little confusing. Like, I thought the voiceover at the beginning was like, our civilization, as if talking to the audience and talking about Earth, came from the stars, the forefathers of the Egyptians, but their forefathers were us.
Yeah, so did
I
they
guess.
did they ever mention the 13th tribe of Kobol ever?
They call Earth where the 13th colony is. I don't think they use that name.
Or where the 13th colony is. Okay. So in the reboot, there was this whole thing about, like, there's, the 12 tribes of Kobol. They each live on, or I guess humans used to live on a planet called Kobol, and then they all split off and moved to the 12 different colonies. And then there was a 13th tribe that left and went and found a new home called Earth.
Mm.
And are you gonna rewatch the series? The reboot?
Probably.
Okay.
I think so.
I won't spoil who the 13th tribe is then.
Okay.
But basically there's this whole notion in the reboot that all of this has happened before and all of this will happen again. They say that a few times throughout the show.
But this is like part of the cycle of human nature, is that we'll populate a planet and then spread out to the stars and then be mostly destroyed by an alien genocide and then come back to Earth and then spread out again once we've rebuilt. That's the
basically
kind of the idea.
Yeah, the idea, well, and especially in the reboot, because the Cylons were made by humans, the idea is that, like, the humans will create artificial intelligence that they, enslave, and the artificial intelligence will eventually rise up and destroy their masters, leading to, them going and leaving their home and or trying to find a new home and start over again. And eventually they will do the same thing where they will create new artificial intelligence. And
Seems dumb.
yeah, kind of. Kind of. I think it's supposed to be a metaphor for the hubris of man, kind of,
I
But,
love the phrase hubris of man.
Yes. But, yeah, so that's, I don't know, maybe if we watched more of the show, we would kind of get that, but I don't know if I'm ready to dive back into
for
the
next
show.
month. We'll watch the entire original series and report back.
Oh, kill me. Okay, yeah, so, I mean, we could. It only got, like, 20 episodes.
Oh, okay. Wouldn't take long then.
It was one season, and then it got canceled, and then like a year later they brought it back for one more season as Galactica 1980.
Ooh.
Which is when the Galactica finally finds Earth, and there's just the 80s is happening.
Oh, right. Oh, man, I forgot about that.
And it's like a weird, like, it's like Battlestar Galactica meets, like, I don't know, what was, like, Chips? Like, like what was happening in the late 70s, early 80s?
That sounds so weird.
But it was like one of those kind of shows. It was like Knight Rider or something.
Nice.
It all took place on Earth. There was like no Galactica happening. Very strange. Anyways, so yeah, that's basically the plot of the series. And so this movie that we watched was actually, it was the 3-part, a first episode, basically, of the show. That aired on TV in 1978, and then to recoup some of the costs, they released it as a theatrical film internationally. So in Canada, it came out as Battlestar Galactica, the movie, and I think in Europe as well. And then in the States, then it just aired on whatever network. Universal, NBC, I guess. So, yeah, that's what this is. And I kind of got that vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Watching it, like, I'm like, oh, this is like, there's like kind of 3 distinct episodes.
Yeah, and
here.
It was dumb because like it felt more like a 2-part intro to the series, whereas like what would take up the first 2 episodes, like the first 2/3 of the movie, is the plot unfolding and then kind of setting up the rest of the series. And then the last third of the movie was kind of just another episode.
Yeah. And that's like, so yeah, so the first episode would basically be, I guess, there's going to be an armistice. Turns out there isn't. The colonies all get destroyed. Humanity's on the run. Galactica is the last surviving Battlestar. They need to find a new home called Earth. Credits. Next episode, they're running out of fuel. They need to go find a new planet that has fuel, so they go to their fuel planet.
And I feel like a big part of the series too is about the political structure of being just a hodgepodge bunch of fleeing civilizations, and like people just kind of like needing to be elected as the leaders of their surviving colonies, and there just being a lot of corruption and bullshit. I think there's a strong political element to the show that doesn't come across very well in the original, but I do remember from the reboot being a big
the
thing.
reboot, there's tons of politics.
Yeah.
Tons
And I
of
feel
politics.
like they tried to set that up, I feel like, in this one, and it was
A little
just,
bit,
it
yeah.
was just
There's
bad.
like the president of the colonies, talking about like, oh, we're gonna just decommission all our nukes or whatever, all our weapons. We're gonna decommission them as a sign of, as a sign of good faith. Because I guess the Cylons only attacked. The humans and the Cylons only started fighting because the Cylons tried to enslave another race of aliens.
Is that
Which
what happened?
something like that. Yeah, there's that scene about halfway through the movie, right before they Colonel Ty and Admiral Adama decide that they're going to get that little ruse going, because for some reason they're having a celebration. Like all of humanity has just been destroyed. They've navigated this weird nebula. That's episode 2, by the way, is like them navigating the weird nebula to get to the fuel planet.
Right.
They got to this fuel planet. There's like a weird Star Wars Cantina ripoff scene.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
And
Lucasfilm
Star Wars
actually,
ripoffs are
Yeah.
aplenty.
Lucasfilm actually sued the folks that made this,
Oh, yeah?
citing 34 similarities.
Was one of them that one of the characters is called Red Leader while they're in the cockpit of their ship?
Oh, probably.
Because that happened. It was
Yeah.
Starbuck. Starbuck says Red Leader checking in or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terrible.
Definitely. And they destroy a big giant space station at the very end, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And really, their ships do just look like X-Wings without the X-foils.
Yeah, so the one of the producers on this movie is a guy named John Dykstra, who was instrumental in creating the effects for the original Star Wars. In fact, he invented the motion control camera that they used to be able to do multiple passes on the spaceships.
That's why that name's familiar.
Yeah, they literally called it the Dykstra Flex because he invented it and there was only one, and so yeah, so he was a producer on this, and so like definitely, design elements from Star Wars are aplenty, and
Yeah,
the
there's one
idea
moment-
that
There's one moment where I'm pretty sure I just saw like a Rebel cruiser, like the kind of ship that Leia was on at the beginning of the series. I think I just saw that ship.
I mean, you might have. They might have just painted it a different color or something, or stuck a couple of doodads on it, and
Probably.
yeah. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. They got sued. Anyways. Yeah, so they go to this cantina thing, and then like in the basement there's like an alien race that's like using humans as food.
I think so, yeah. They're like an insectoid race, and they're putting
Yeah.
humans into
Into like cocoons.
yeah.
So like that was happening. So like there's no aliens in the fucking reboot. That's
yeah,
for sure.
that's right.
So so they're doing that, and then while they're having this celebration, I guess they figure out that or Adama and Tai figure out that like, oh, the perfect time for the Cylons to attack would be during this party. So they put a bunch of people in officer uniforms that aren't, flight commanders or whatever, so that they can have the actual pilots back on the ship ready to attack, and then go rescue the people on the ground.
No, you know what? They don't say like pilots. They don't say soldiers. They're called warriors.
They're called warriors, yeah.
Which is kind of a weird choice, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird choices, like, they're wearing robes.
Yeah, that's one note I made is when we get shots in the first episode down on like the planet and everyone's running around and getting killed. Everyone looks like they're just dressed for the Renaissance fair.
Oh yeah, it's like weird. It's like Renaissance disco.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, perfect. Renaissance disco. And I'm not knocking it. I would 100% wear that. But it just seems out of place, I guess.
Like I don't mind a good cape, Starbuck and Apollo are running around wearing capes sometimes when they're not in their cool bomber jackets.
Hell yeah.
Their fancy dresses capes. But like, yeah, fucking like Adama is dressed like goddamn Liberace or something. Like or like the Pope. Like he just has like a big old flowy purple robe. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it is.
Getting rid of the robes was the best choice the reboot series ever made.
Number one choice.
Yeah. They add that and casting Edward James Olmos as Adama. No offense to Lorne Green. He's
he's got gravitas for sure.
But yeah. Not as good as Eddie J.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's what I call him.
The guy who plays Apollo in the original also in the remake as a different character? I recognized him.
Yes, he is. So that was sort of like an olive branch that was offered to him because apparently he had tried to get like a continuation of Battlestar off the ground in like the late 90s. And no one was having it.
Yeah.
And so Richard Hatch is in the series. What's his name? I'm blanking on his character's name. But anyways, basically he plays this
Tom something.
Tom. Oh yes, you're close. It is Tom. Tom Brady. No. So anyways, I'll look it up in a second here. He plays this like terrorist character.
Ooh.
Who basically, so what happens is President Adar is killed in the initial attack, and the next highest ranking person in the political chain is the Secretary of Education, Laura Roslin. So she becomes Tom Zarek. Is Richard Hatch's
there we go.
character's name. Yeah. So, so Laura Roslin becomes president, and he's going like, oh, like she wasn't elected as our leader. She's just a school teacher. We demand a fair election kind of thing, and yeah. There's an episode where he's a prisoner on a prison ship, and then they end up taking over the prison ship, and Lee gets, held hostage kind of thing.
Woof.
Yeah. And then he becomes like a main player in like season 2 onwards, pretty much.
Well, this already sounds a lot more compelling than the movie we watched.
Yeah. So one of the interesting things is, or what did we finish a thought? Did we miss it? Were we in the middle of a thought and we just...
I think it's too far behind us to tell. I can't see it from here.
Fair enough. The robes are dumb. That was what we were talking about.
There we go.
Yeah. So the bad guy in the TV series is a guy named Count Baltar. He dies in this movie version.
That's right. He betrays
Um,
the human race, and then obviously the Cylons kill him because their goal is to kill all humans. What an
Yeah.
idiot.
Yeah. So I guess in the broadcast version, he doesn't die. But in the theatrical version, he does.
Oh, interesting.
And they did that to try and make it like a more cohesive narrative, I guess. Even though his character is only in a couple of scenes and like serves no purpose.
I mean, his purpose is like all the while going to the armistice. Adama is seeing these red flags of like something's wrong. There are definitely ships out there. Oh no, someone's attacking our scouts. We need to mobilize. And the president, who always for some reason has Baltar with him, is like, oh, I don't know. And then Baltar's like, no, don't launch any ships. Don't take any action. We wouldn't want to upset the armistice. This is a delicate time. And so Baltar's whole thing is that he's keeping them unprepared.
Yeah.
And then just literally disappears.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess he's the main antagonist throughout the series. And in the reboot series, he is a fucking crazy person
Yeah.
who's
I remember his character.
hallucinating a Cylon woman in his brain. And it's unclear as to why. And I don't know if we ever find out. I can't remember.
Oh, is that not explained?
I feel like maybe it is at one point. But
Doesn't he have like a chip in his head or something? Like a Cylon chip in his head?
No. It might have to do something with like when the nukes go off. Caprica 6 uses her body to shield him from the explosion that like destroys his house. And then somehow the radiation it could just be that he's crazy.
Now let's just go with that.
Yeah.
Good old crazy Gaius Baltar.
I can't remember if there was an explanation or not, because quite frankly, after about season 2, I was like, I'm done with his character.
Oh, okay.
I was like, he's really fucking annoying. And he stops seeing her at one point too. Yeah. So anyways,
Yeah.
I think he's a much more interesting character though in the reboot than in this.
Oh yeah.
As like Count Baltar, the bad guy.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the Cylons. There was also a difference that I read where the Cylons were, in the show, they were a race of aliens that used robot suits, and in the movie. Or maybe in the movie they were they aliens in the movie?
I'm pretty sure they were referred to as aliens. I don't remember anyone calling them robots or AI or anything. I could have missed it, but I think they were just an alien race.
Yeah.
And we do see some like throne room shots of their imperious leader, and the leader doesn't look like a robot.
Yeah, so I think they're an alien race in this one, and in the series they turned it to robots because they could get away with killing more robots on TV. Like if they said they were robots, they could shoot and blow up more Cylons than if they were aliens. Because I guess they were still killing a living creature.
Yeah, I get it.
So, yeah. I really like the design of the Cylons in this. I think it's a pretty classic design.
Yeah.
They
cool.
kind of
the eye light going from side to side is just iconic.
totally
Was
the
a good
voice.
design. this voice is very much like, what's his name? Soundwave, the Decepticon,
Yes, totally.
who was my favorite Decepticon because A, badass voice, and B, his little cassette pets.
Oh
They were
yeah,
dope. I
turns
loved
into
that.
like a jaguar.
Yeah, he's got a jaguar. He had I think like a pterodactyl or something.
That sounds right.
Little dude named Rumble had like the piston
Yeah.
arms that would smash stuff. Anyway,
You know, I would go as far as to say that the Transformers literally just stole his voice from this show.
I mean, yeah, I think that happened.
It's pretty fucking close. Um,
Yeah. Oh well.
yeah. So the one thing that I found really weird while watching this,
The one thing. Okay.
well, this is the thing that bugged me the most. I think is like the colonies, like the 12 planets that your race of people come from, were all just destroyed. You know, there's only 50,000 humans left in the entire universe. And like no one seems to be taking it very seriously. Especially like the main characters, like Starbuck in particular. He's running around the ship, he's trying to get laid. Him and Boomer go down to that planet, and there's like a cantina, and he's like, "Ooh, I gotta sign this trio of like giant-headed alien singer ladies."
Oh my gosh, they were so.
They have both a female and a male voice, and they like harmonize with themselves.
Yeah, they look like their faces were just smushed outward in most directions. So like they have 4 eyes, 2 set further off from regular human eyes, and then an additional mouth set below where a normal human mouth is, and the head is just larger to accommodate.
Yeah.
But like they looked weird. I found it really hard to actually focus on one of their faces. It was just kind of.
Yeah, no,
I
they
didn't like it.
but yeah, they're fucking weird, but his thing is like, "Oh, I got to sign these guys to like an entertainment contract and I'll be their manager, and that'll be my ticket out of the military."
Oh yeah, he's really dumb, isn't he?
And I'm like, "Dude, like what who are they going to sing for? No one's alive." The fuck you talking about? Ticket out of the military.
Yeah.
You're in the military, dude. You're at war. You're not just gonna be like, "Hey, listen, I love fighting the war and all, but I got this great opportunity to manage a weird giant-headed trio of Betty Boop aliens, and yeah, I'm just like fighting the Cylons. Just like isn't really my vibe right now. So, thanks for everything. Bye.
Oh my god.
Let me know if you need any entertainment for the troops. I got, I was that to me that was just like baffling to me.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a part in episode 2, like, when they're going through the ships and, like, realizing that there isn't enough food and people are going to start starving. And Starbuck says something along the lines of, gotta live each day to the fullest because don't know how many are left. And that's his attitude.
Yeah.
And so I think that he does not give a fuck
No.
that all the colonies were destroyed.
I would find that to be an accurate assessment of his character.
So he just kind of sucks.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. Like, there's a lot of things in this that just kind of suck. And while I was watching it, I was like, Reboot did that better. Reboot did that better.
I mean, it is, as we can tell by going through this, it is very hard, nigh impossible, to not just compare it to the reboot.
It is. And especially since, like, the reboot is Battlestar Galactica to me.
Mm.
And apparently now they're, there's been rumors for a couple years that they're trying to get another Battlestar Galactica, either series or a movie going or something like that. And they're like, oh yeah, no, it's gonna continue on from or be attached to the Ronald D. Moore universe and not be related to the original.
I see.
And I'm like, that's a good call, because fuck, this was bad. So things that they changed in the reboot that I think were better. The humans creating the Cylons and the Cylons rising up against them, better.
It's more compelling.
Yeah. I like that the in the reboot everything is there's like, it is science fiction, but it's very like, you could see this being something that could happen eventually. So like, all the ships, I mean, and they did talk a bit in this one about like, oh, they need fuel and stuff like that, but like, fuel management, all the ships use bullets. Like they have ammunition, there's no laser guns. There's no aliens. It's like, it's all like, you could see it happening. I like that all the technology feels very retro, in like an Earth retro kind of thing, where like all the phones have cords and all the,
Oh yeah, totally.
and they even talk about it like in that show. Like there's one episode where they're trying to hack a Cylon firewall to deliver a virus to the Cylon base ship, so that they can, I think there's like a rescue mission or something they're trying to pull off, and they need to like disable the Cylon base ship long enough for them to get in and get out.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so, Commander Gata is like, oh, if we link, we can do it, but we have to link all the computers together. And that will give us enough processing power to hack through their firewall and deliver the virus. And Colonel Ty's like, absolutely fucking not. You're not absolutely fracking not. You're not linking a fracking computer on this ship. Right. The old man never said you could link no computer system can be linked to another system. That way, if the Cylons hack us, they can't shut us all the way down, kind of thing, right? And it's like, oh yeah, okay. So I think they talk about it in the miniseries. They're like a tour group getting a tour of Galactica, and I'm like, yes, as you notice, all the technology seems primitive, but it was all designed to combat an enemy that could, electronically, disable your ship, kind of thing, right? And so there was like reasons for it. Next change I like, making Starbuck a woman.
Yeah, there was very poor female representation in the original. There were female characters, but their role was they're a female.
Yeah. There's a daughter. That's the other thing I like. Getting rid of Athena. It's not in the show.
Yeah, her role in this movie was to cry.
Yeah, she cries when her brother dies.
Yeah, which is fair, but it's like,
yeah,
they couldn't have any of the men cry, basically.
No.
I mean, actually, some men do cry. That does happen when, civilization is lost.
Yeah.
There are some men crying. But yeah, she did not have much of a role at all.
Does she go down to the planet with them, or was that a different woman that just looked exactly the same?
To the cantina?
Yeah.
Well, that was her.
That was her, okay.
She clearly has some history with Starbuck, but Starbuck is, a bimbo.
Well, he was chasing some blonde. Oh, right, yeah, because she sees him in the launch tube with the blonde chick, and then, like, sets off the smoke or whatever.
Steam vents,
yeah. That was funny. So I like that they made Starbuck a woman. I like that they changed their names to their call signs. I thought that was a good call.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea that the Cylons could take human form.
Oh yeah, like total, like, what's it called? Cyborgs, when they're like.
Yeah, well, they're like visually like indistinguishable from humans, and some of them don't even know that they're Cylons. Like,
Oh yeah, they're like sleeper agents.
yeah, like Boomer in the series is not a black man. She is a Korean woman. And
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
yeah, and her call sign is Boomer, and she is a Cylon sleeper agent. That's not a spoiler. You find that out in like the miniseries, I believe. If not the miniseries, the first episode. So don't at me, bro. I like that. I liked the addition of President Roslin.
Mm-hmm.
She was a phenomenal character.
Absolutely.
I liked that they took Colonel Ty and turned him into a white man from Nova Scotia.
Oh.
Yeah. It kind of threw me off in this, where I'm like, when I was watching the original, I'm like, oh, Colonel Ty's black. That's good. I'm like, that's very progressive for the 70s.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, they like whitewashed him in the reboot. And then I was like, well, you know what though? They did a lot for they did a lot for racial and gender equality in other ways, so I think I'll give them a bit of a pass. Because they also turned Adama into like a Latino man.
That's true. They diversified a bunch.
Mm-hmm. The woman who is doing she's like the radar technician. Did we ever find out her name?
I don't think so.
It was like 14 centons. You know,
She's just always there. There's
just
always
there.
like close-ups of her face, and we don't know who she is.
I think they turned her into the D character.
Yeah, well, I really like how they took the cast that they could use and were like, well, race and gender isn't that important for who these characters are.
It was like the original Star Trek in a way, where they did a lot for diversity, racial and gender diversity in the cast,
Mm-hmm.
on TV in a big way. So that was great. Yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about the original movie, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Aside from finding it dumb, I also found it kind of boring.
well, I feel like from my perspective, Battlestar Galactica, like in its entirety as an idea, is super compelling. It's a really interesting setting.
Yeah.
And so watching this movie, I was not completely bored. I was invested in some of the characters. I cared, that the human race was being annihilated. A part of that was like, I've seen some of the reboot and I enjoy it, and so I kind of had some other context there, sure. But for the first, I'd say like episode, I was like, oh man, all the shit's going down. They've been tricked. They've been bamboozled, and now they're all dying, and it's tough and it's sad, and I was like, man, this is intense. I wasn't bored. But then the movie just became more episodes of a show, and I was like, I don't want to keep watching.
Yeah, no,
so I'm saying it wasn't without its merits. Like,
no, but
it set up the show that we later grew to love as a reboot.
definitely, and you're right. That's around the time I started kind of drifting in and out of the movie.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Or like I was watching the movie and I had made myself like a bit of like a charcuterie board thing with like some goat cheese and crackers and stuff, and so I'm watching it and I'm like really into it, and then about halfway through the movie I'm like, man, this goat cheese is kind of hard to spread on these crackers. Like they keep breaking. Like it's too hard, man. You just go get some different crackers. And so I like went to the pantry and I'm like getting out other crackers and I'm like, okay, yeah, these ones spread a lot better. And okay, cool. I'll put my cucumber on there and I'm like, oh, this is good. This is good. Wait, what's happening? Hold on, why are they flying through a cloud? And then I had to like rewind it and be like,
oh boy.
Oh, they're going to find Tylium fuel, which in the reboot they call Tillium, and I'm like, that's a way better name.
Tillium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
sounds
God.
like an
Okay.
element.
We can't get out the best. This is the best thing that the reboot show did. I'm sorry. I skipped over this. I forgot about it until just now. This is the best thing they did. They got rid of that stupid fucking kid and the stupid fucking robot dog.
Oh my gosh.
Don't put kids in your shows or movies ever. I don't know what it was with. Unless your name is Steven Spielberg, you can't do it right. I'm sorry.
I forgot.
And that comes
about
with a caveat. unless you're Steven Spielberg in the 80s, you can't do it well.
Right. Yep. There it is.
Like, oh.
I already blocked that part from my
Or
mind.
Taika Waititi. Sorry, Taika Waititi.
Or Taika Waititi. Yeah,
He can
he's
do it.
brilliant.
Hunt for the Wilder People. Boy,
Yeah.
check him out. Best
That
fucking movies
movie
ever.
is incredible.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, when we first get our shots of one of the human colonies being destroyed, there's a little kid with a dog, and then the mom is like trying to save them. And then saves the kid, and people are dying. And the kid's calling for the dog, whose name is Muffin, I think.
Sure, Muffin. Yeah, sounds right. Yeah.
Or Muffet. But it might have been Muffin. Anyway, dog's running towards them. Part of a building explodes, falls on the dog. Episode 1 of this show, they kill the dog.
Muffet.
Muffet.
Which, oh my god, no. Seriously?
What?
No. According to Google Images, Muffet was played by an orangutan. No, sorry, a chimpanzee in the dog costume.
That would explain the way it moved.
Yeah, I assumed that they had put like a kid or like a little person or something in there. Nope. It's a chimpanzee in a fucking dog costume that looks like worse than Alf.
It's like if Alf was cut up and then they needed to duct tape him back together and then put robot eyes on him.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, no, that definitely explains the way it moves. It was very monkey-like.
Horrible. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
didn't need that kid. Did
fuck
not
that. Oh.
need to get him a robot dog to make his life feel better. Like, the entire human race was in jeopardy. Like, aside from wanting to hit on the kid's mother, I don't understand why Apollo was, like, going through so much trouble to, like, get this kid a robot dog and, like, take him on missions with them. Oh, man. It
Doesn't make any sense, and I hate
was a
it.
dumb choice. It was a
All
dumb
movies should adopt the same casting principles as the adult film industry. All participants need to be 18 years or older, and they're of their own free will.
Woof.
No more shitty kids and horrible stage parents forcing their kids to be in this stupid movie so they can retire off their
Yeah.
children.
Yeah, that's a sad thing that happens. Anyway, so Battlestar Galactica, set up a very interesting and compelling franchise. The original movie that was released is kind of shit.
Yeah. Should we watch like the next episode or something, or the next 2 episodes maybe? Maybe we do it on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Just kind of see where it goes.
Let's see. Yeah, if it continues to just be this episodic nonsense where they go to alien planets and there's a cantina, then I'm gonna be not surprised. But
No.
who knows? Maybe
Look, if
maybe
it's
the
real
kid will
bad,
die.
if it's real bad and dumb, we don't have to record.
that's fair. Yeah. Well, so that'll be our next Patreon exclusive, diving further into the original Battlestar Galactica.
Because I think also the next episode is also a 2-parter.
Oh dear.
So it's like, because they were originally going to make like 3 made-for-television movies, I guess.
Oh wow.
And then just didn't. So
Good for them.
yeah, they switched it to be like a weekly show instead. So I'm not exactly sure why, but well, they did it.
All right.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, I don't know if this is on Rotten Tomatoes or not, but let's find out. That's the TV show. Show me results for the movie. It's not.
Okay. Oh.
Not that I can find.
Cool. I was gonna guess like 18. So.
Wait, is this the movie or is this the show? I can't tell. This is the show. Do you want to do the show
Yeah, I'm curious to know.
without the movie? Okay. 33%.
33, 1/3. Okay. Well,
Audience score 100%.
what? Anyone who's watched it and wanted to rate it was a mega fan.
I guess the only people that bothered.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we will watch a little bit more of the show and see what we think.
All right. Well, that pretty much does it for us. This brings it to my favorite part of the show, we read mean YouTube comments part of the show.
Oh dear.
IGO Gamer commented on our Hollow Man episode. Fuck you. Fist emoji, angry emoji, angry emoji.
Oh.
And so I'm going to reply to him live here on the show. What do we want to say to IGO Gamer?
Thanks for listening.
And also with you. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I could also just like send him back a random emoji. It's like a peace
Oh, it would be
sign.
the camel.
The camel?
Is there a camel emoji?
There is a camel emoji.
It was just
Why?
the first one that came to mind. I don't.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the peace sign and the camel sign. Just
Peace sign and the camel. Okay.
Yeah.
Peace sign. Now I'm just gonna scroll through my touch bar here till I find the animals. There we go. A
Yeah,
camel.
people,
Okay.
People
so,
really
yeah.
hate the YouTube version of our Hollow Man episode.
Well, like it has a ridiculous amount of views compared to any of our other episodes. Like it's at, what is it at now? It's at 236,881 views.
So are there just like a lot of Hollow Man fans out there?
I
who
don't know. I can't figure it out.
They
'Cause,
like
we
find our podcast and then realize that like we don't like it.
So like we put it out, yeah, maybe, because we put it out at the same time that The Invisible Man came out
That's right, yeah.
as like a tie-in kind of episode, and it just like exploded. And then the next one is Vertical Limit at 99,000. Like, I don't understand. It used to be Roadhouse was our highest viewed one, 7.5 thousand, and that's just kind of leveled off.
Huh.
So I don't know. It's very strange.
Well, each month we can talk about who has found our Hollow Man episode on YouTube and hated it next.
So like what I think is happening is people seem to think that it's like the full movie. And then they click on it and then it's not. And then they comment on it. Then because
fuck you.
and then because they comment on it, that gets put back into the engagement algorithm, and so it moves the video up in the search feed. So anyone who searches Hollow Man goes like, "Oh, here's a video with almost 300,000 views and lots of comments on it." And it's just like this cycle of like angry pervs that want to watch Hollow Man and then are pissed off that they can't watch it.
It is such an angry perv movie, isn't it?
It's such an angry perv movie.
It
It's like
stars an angry perv.
it's like Incel the movie, dude. It's like if an incel turned invisible, this is 100% what they would do.
Yeah. Fuck that movie.
But they can't turn invisible, so they paint Joker makeup on their face.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, it's
no.
so funny. Anyway, so if you like this podcast, or if you hate it, go to YouTube, leave a comment. You can find us on all of the social medias at RetroCrapPod, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, retrocrappod@gmail.com. If you want to email in, to the show, you can do that. Leave a comment. Tell us what a bunch of fuckwads we are. Anything really. Rate and review the podcast. That's the most important thing you can do. 5-star review is really helps us out a lot. Recommend it to a friend. Steal their phone. Download all the episodes on their phone. Send it to your mother. Send it to your grandmother. Just leave it playing in the background all day while you're at work. So we just keep getting those downloads. Anything like that really helps us out a lot. We have a Patreon. Where we do things like we did a commentary for David Lynch's Dune and The Rise of Skywalker. You can hear the first episode we ever recorded and wasn't good enough to release. It's the episode that was so bad we made you pay for it.
Well, it's true.
It is kind of true, isn't it?
It's fun.
I would like to revisit that episode and like redo that movie. It was the episode. It was the movie Komodo.
Yeah.
I'd like to
Komodo.
redo that one day because I think we could do a better episode on it, but
I'm sure we could.
I'm sure we could. It's nice to know that we've improved, hasn't it? Every now and then I like check the downloads and I'm like, oh, someone went and downloaded the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie episode? Oh no.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm like, don't start at the beginning, guys. Work backwards. Work backwards.
Oh,
We didn't even have theme music back then. Anyways, yeah, so I think that's all the things I normally say. I said a bunch of other stuff I normally don't say. And we'll be back next month with a movie that I'm sure will be just as good, if not worse, as this.
Did we officially rate Battlestar Galactica, the movie?
We
on
did
our-
not officially rate Battlestar Galactica, the movie. Well, I think we kind of unofficially rated it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, but officially.
Officially. Yeah, it's one
and,
big pile of
and
shit.
episode there. It's, yeah, sorry. One
Yeah.
big pile of shit. Yeah. You got it.
That is one big pile of shit.
Yeah, people knew that was coming.
People knew it was coming. Sorry, I just wanted to get out of this discussion as fast as possible.
My bad.
No, it's fine. No, good. Good that one of us is paying attention to how the show works.
The loose format that we barely adhere to.
Yeah. I also just wanted to get to the reading mean comments about us on YouTube
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
section, which is good. Next month, what do I have on our calendar here? Oh, the movie Outland is on our calendar, which is Sean Connery is a space sheriff on one of the moons of Jupiter or something.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned that to me. Oh, no.
It's one of those ones where you see the DVD at the thrift store and you're like, well, if I don't spend $2 on this, I'll regret it for the rest of my life. And yeah, that's what happened here. So gird your loins,
Oh, boy.
buckle your harnesses. We're going to Europa, baby. Is that a
Can't
moon-
wait.
Is that a moon of Jupiter?
Yes.
Nice. I did it. Yeah, that's so we think of the original Battlestar Galactica. It's not very good. Maybe the show was better, but if you want to watch a good Battlestar Galactica, watch the reboot. I talk about, how everything's just a remake and a reboot, rip off these days. Well, it's nice to know that sometimes it pays off, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it pays off.
So, instead of remaking The Lord of the Rings or Ghostbusters or whatever, maybe, I don't know, go back and reboot Chopping Mall.
Oh, baby.
You know,
I would watch that.
find a piece of crap film like Chopping Mall and then reboot it as a metaphor for, I don't know, human greed and consumerism.
The hubris of man.
The hubris of man. Look, just apply that to just about any remake, and it'll probably be better than whatever the crap it was based on.
Oh, boy.
So yeah, look forward to the Chopping Mall reboot eventually when we run out of content in about 3 months.
There we go.
And until next time, anything you need to add? I'm about to end it.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
You're good. All right. Well, until next time, keep watching crap.